Hello, everybody! We are here for the finals of the MIT League of Legends Club 2016 Spring Tournament. We're excited to bring you a best-of-5 series between, on the blue side for game number 1, Team Temp. On the red side, it is Royal Rat Authority, our number 1 and number 2 teams coming out of the round-robin stage. Should be a good final for you here today.
Yeah, very excited to see how these games turn out.
Yeah, and again, since these games are not being cast live, we do not have a champion select footage. However, since it does not look like... Oh, actually, before I eat my words...
There's an invade.
Might have an early invade. Yeah, so just to bring everyone here watching the stream, or the VODs later, I don't know. How long will these survive? But just to bring you up to speed... these games were played last night at approximately midnight, so all of the casters had gone to sleep, but we do have these final games. We're able to bring them to you, so just like the real thing.
Close enough, right?
Close enough to the real thing. We're still bringing you all the action.
They have no idea they have no idea those words are there.
Yep, so wow. Good invade by Temp, getting pretty much full vision of Royal Rat Authority to start this off.
Yeah, the blue side jungle. I think it was actually smarter not to stay for the entire invade, not to overplay their hand. Just get the information, get that ward in, and just call it that. Very, very good not overplaying their hand there.
Yep, absolutely. So I do want to take a look at these team compositions before we start off. So on the blue side, Kennen in the top lane, Graves in the jungle for Tempest Life. There's going to be a Fizz in the middle, or I am Noobs. We're just going to call them Noobs, I think. That's easier to say. And Stussy Man and Not Dave with Lucian Braum in the bottom lane. On the red side, do have a Yasuo in the top lane for Corvus. Is a Gragas jungle for Legophile. Noble Firen in the mid lane on Brand. Noble Firen playing Sivir in the bottom lane with potential 5 on the Karma. So Adam, why don't you talk us through a little bit about these team comps, what they're going to be looking to do.
Both of them are actually really high damage, bursty type comps. I kind of feel like both teams really are going to be looking for a lot of skirmishes and pickoffs.
With the Gragas to help accomplish that on the side of Royal Rat Authority, as well as the combined engage-disengage from both Sivir and Karma will also be very helpful in that as well.
Yeah, there's a little bit of an interesting anti-synergy, I would say, for Royal Rat Authority's comp, in that you have the Gragas who wants to split up the team fights and get you picks, and then the Brand who thrives on having everyone in exactly the same place to do maximal damage.
Yeah, we're going to have to look for them to try to coordinate their ult so that they don't, in particular, so that the Gragas ult doesn't completely screw up the... Because the Brand ult with the reworked Brand is a very reliable way of getting the 3 stacks of your passive down.
Yeah.
On multiple targets most of the time.
Absolutely. I think what they... Ooh, as we see again coming into mid lane, actually.
Mid lane. Noble Firen missing the Q onto Brand, so does not get the stun onto Tempest Life or Noobs. Legophile coming in for the counterbank. He's going to be able to stop that off. We actually have 2 TPs coming down from the top lane. Corvus gets stuck in there a little bit. Tries to flash away. First Blood going to be going over to... That is Bob V2 in the top lane, and actually 2 kills. Noobs picking one up as well. So a little bit of an ill-advised teleport completion there from Corvus. Got into the middle of the fight and was not able to land the damage that he thought he could.
Bob V2 had a lot more to offer with his TP, able to get multiple stuns off with his E and W and clean up some nice kills. And that's really good, especially for a Fizz to start getting snowballing.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, at this stage of the game, Kennen just has a little bit more to offer than Yasuo in that TP gank scenario, and that's mostly what we saw happening. We also did see that at the very beginning of the gank, some of the health bars were already pretty low. Started off as already kind of a dicey situation. Farm numbers pretty even across the board still, though.
Yeah, and I believe Corvus did teleport in level 2. I believe that Bob V2's Kennen was also level 2. But level 2 Kennen can already start proccing that stun
much
on a lot of targets. I think Corvus did not have the wind wall available, which might have been kind of nice to stop some of Kennen's damage.
That would probably have helped, but you're never going to take that in lane as Yasuo at level 2. So...
Yeah, because you're going to lose so much laning presence.
Exactly.
For not having both your E and
Not going to help you very much.
So early on, Team Temp taking a little bit of a gold lead.
Yep.
So about 600 gold.
Yeah, and Bob V2 using that gold, already working on an early Rylai's.
And
that's going to be really nice for him.
That's just an obnoxious item.
Yeah.
as Cannon.
Yeah.
Oh, he actually did not manage to back with quite enough gold to start, and the Needless goes for the Giant's Belt instead, but we do see the gank onto Corvus.
Yeah, Corvus getting a little low, does not have flash because as he used it in the mid lane, and they're going to go underneath the turret. Tempest Life tanking a bunch of shots, not able to finish it off. Tempest Life just going a little too low. Lycophile coming up just a bit late for the counter gank. I don't believe that they saw the Gragas coming, but the tower aggro sticking on Graves made that just a little bit too risky of a dive.
Yeah, not quite able to get that last shot off, the last hit of the Q from Noble.
Yeah, nice little stun from Noble.
Yeah.
Noble Fearin. I'm
Sorry,
gonna try
Noble
and save
Fearin.
these. I'm gonna try and say these differently. It may not work. We'll have to see.
His name is Brand.
When I asked him last
Ooh,
night,
some action in the bot lane, though. We see Not Dave getting snared off. That's going to be a little more damage rated back and forth, but Sivir is out of mana.
Yeah, out of mana, has to back off. A nice Braum Q hitting there. Used the spell shield, but actually after the Braum stun came through, so not able to dodge that CC, and trading back and forth pretty heavily on both sides. Sussy Man hitting that Q through the minions. I'm never sure how long the hitbox is on that Lucian Q.
it's a bit.
I think the answer is
confusing.
slightly longer than you think.
Yeah, we've seen Stussy Man be pretty good at hitting those Qs consistently throughout this laning phase. You can get a lot of damage down by consistently landing those Qs through your opponent's minion wave.
Yeah, actually interesting to see Obv2 going for the Giant's Belt first item rather than any AP in that top lane.
He did not have enough gold for the Needless, and I don't think Amptone would have been enough of a power spike for him to want to buy. Is why I think he went for the Giant's Belt.
Yeah.
I checked the gold after he bought it. He didn't have enough.
So that's true.
I was also confused about that purchase, which is why I bothered to check.
Nice free mana. Dive coming in on the bot lane. Tempest Life tossing down the smoke screen. Gonna be getting damage onto both Potential 5 and Noble Firen, but both of them going low, not quite going down.
Here comes the
Summoner
counter
Heal
gank.
keeps him alive. Stussy Man stuck underneath the turret, goes down. First kill of the game for Royal Rat Authority.
That was not the best turret dive. They really didn't get much of anything down onto either Noble Firen or Potential 5 as they were trying that dive, and Stussy just way too deep under that turret, and easy counter for
Pretty easy counter. I think these teams are likely still getting used to the change in turret damage coming in with this most recent patch. So for any of you watching MSI, we are on the current live patch, which is 6.9, and not the MSI patch. They're playing on 6.8. So some slight differences to turret damage. It ramps up quicker over time against champions in particular. So dives are a little bit more risky.
Yeah, and plus that, that's not really a bot lane you can dive with before level 6. Like, at level 6, you're fine. You have the Braum stun, you have the Graves ultimate for, some more CC, some more damage, some more disengage. When you're all level 5, you can't really offer anything, especially if they corral to the back of the turret, so Graves can't hit them with that Q. The Graves did drop the smoke screen onto both of them, but there was just a very limited amount they could do, even given that setup, because Tempest Life just isn't that tank yet. He can't tank turret aggro for that long. Stussy Man oversteps a little bit and gives up a kill to the counter gank. So a little bit of a sloppy dive, overplaying their hand a little bit there. I would definitely agree from the side of Team Temp.
Yep, absolutely. And these lanes have settled down just a little bit. It does look like, despite the early death, Corvus is holding a little bit of a farm lead up in that top lane. So Yasuo managing to match up fairly well against Kennen.
Yeah, wait, this is actually surprising because when we've peeked in the top lane, what we've seen Bob V2 do is actually deny himself CS in order to try to harass Corvus out of lane, and it actually hasn't been working very well. So at this point, even though he has the kill and the assist, I don't think he's making the most efficient use of that lead. I think that's also partially because he wasn't able to actually get an AP item on his first back, so he does have to play with just his base damage and runes only. But his denial of Corvus has not worked. Corvus does have HP and is pretty much even in CS.
And Braum ultimate actually going down fairly early. Noble Firen has to flash out of that one. Stussy Man taking some good return damage, though, from Potential 5. Stussy Man before gets the kill onto Noble Firen. This could be a double kill as Potential 5 is caught out. The Not Dave picking up the second kill out of those two. So again, 2 kills going down to Team Temp. This time it is the bottom lane picking up both of them. And I think the Sivir spell shield blown just before that engage to block a Braum Q, and so also not able to block any of the culling or the knockup.
Really sweet sidestep there by Stussy Man on the Karma Q right after picking up that kill onto the Sivir, onto Noble Firen. just sidestepping that Q, which would have killed him.
Yep, and then the confident flash in to secure the kill.
Yeah, that was really nice.
That was very
really
good.
Nice turnaround.
And honestly, like, that is Team Temp taking full advantage of the fact that Sivir Karma's level 6 is actually very weak. Neither of them get any more abilities level 6, as Brand has to burn the flash, misses the Shark.
Yeah, actually managed to flash both the smokescreen and the Shark. I think I think kind of by accident.
All right, well, I mean, it works for him.
Yeah, nicely done by Noble.
Relatively
Fearin.
low cooldowns, though, so that is a flash down on this immobile mage in the mid lane, so I would not be surprised to see a return game.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah, and as we say, return gank, Tempest Life is right around that mid lane once again, coming in behind. Noble Fearin does see him coming. TP is going to be coming in from the top lane from Corvus. Actually, both top laners coming in. See if they can make a little bit more damage. Brand getting a nice passive proc onto Graves. That's going to be the lethal damage. Corvus, though, gets traded back by Noobs. Bobby2 going in under turret, gets 2 stuns off, tries to dive onto Noble Fearin, can't get him down though. The turret finishing off that damage, 2 for 1 so far in favor of Royal Rat Authority. Noobs also caught out a little bit too far, has the troll pole but does not make it over the wall and will go down. Ligophile on Gragas picking up that kill. So in the end, definitely in favor of Royal Rat Authority in that trade.
Yeah.
That actually looked like a really good setup from Team Temp Name just from the beginning, because again, the level 6 cannon with ultimate, well, level 8 I guess, but the cannon with ultimate is going to have just so much more immediate TP gank potential than the Yasuo. But what went wrong is that Royal Rat Authority's bot lane rotated up while Temp Name's Authority stayed bot to get turret damage down, and that really made the difference in that mid lane power.
Yeah,
That
having that extra bot lane.
Oh yeah.
Damage coming out.
Really
It's
well
huge.
timed.
Stussy going forward, gets the stun on potential 5. The Brong not, but that's going to lock him down for a long time. Pretty easy looking kill onto potential 5. Sivir also going to have to back out further to avoid that 4th stack on the Braum passive, and just like that, another kill for the bot lane. That's now
Nice play.
2 and 1 for Stussy Man thus far. Going forward aggressively to get another shot onto Sivir. Meanwhile, Corvus and Bobby2 trading in the top lane. Gonna get a little bit of damage. Corvus has a lot of minions to jump through. Might be able to get something done here. Windwall actually goes past Kennen, so did not block any Qs with that.
Yeah, those minions are going to come back to bite him a little bit. I think a part of that wind wall was to block aggro from those 4 range minions there, since he was fighting in a giant minion wave.
Yep,
It
absolutely.
did end up hurting Hoodaloo. Ooh, this is not...
Finding Noobs, trying to come down to deny the Dragon. Gonna get caught out by that Fizz. Looks like he is gonna go down on the side of the fight. Dragon is secured there as Ligophile comes in, is not able to get it done. The ultimate from Graves gonna finish that one off. And 1 kill down so far, just the Gragas. Looks like Brand did manage to make it away. Noble Fearin is also going to go down. Potential 5 gets himself caught a little bit too far forward, and Brand going to have to be careful that he doesn't go down. The ultimate only hits onto Tempest Life, does follow it up with the Q for the kill, so will be a death there. And the W from Lucian barely not hitting that. I think that would have just been lethal damage.
Oh, man.
Onto Brand. So nicely done by Noble Fearin trading back for 1 kill, but in the end it is Dragon and a 2 for 1 trade in favor of Temp.
Not bad. And Temp sitting pretty comfortable in a 2k gold lead at 13 minutes into the game.
Well, that whole fight around Dragon started out with the Brand and the Fizz walking right past each other, and
then Fizz realizing, oh wait, I'm an assassin.
Yeah, and Noble Fearin not really able to get much done in that entire fight because he was
very zoned.
Extremely
very
zoned and extremely low HP as well.
I think he managed to get 1 proc of the passive off, I think.
Yeah, onto... But that just
might be
onto...
I'm remembering a previous fight there.
Yeah, but
not huge impact. They came in a little bit too late to actually contest that Dragon.
Yeah.
Right, crucially, he did not get that team fight changing Brand ultimate onto the people clustered in the Dragon pit, which would have changed the scope of that fight entirely.
Burned the ultimate on Tempest Life, who was isolated and low, and Tempest Life actually surviving for a really long time in that fight.
Getting some good damage onto Noble Fearin. That's most of the culling actually going through the minions and not hitting the Sivir, but that is a pretty good chunk of damage down to a little bit below half health.
So this is the flavor of the month Lucian build that we are seeing here.
Yeah, has rushed the Ghostblade.
Ghostblade into Black Cleaver. So Ghostblade is just a really strong laning item. 20 armor pen early when champions have basically no armor is really strong. You're basically doing true damage.
And Corvus uses the ultimate against Not Dave in the top lane, who doesn't actually have any armor built. Gonna be getting a lot of chunk down. Actually, he's at about a quarter health, and Corvus gonna be forced to back out as the ultimate's running. Has taken most of his health back from Bobby2, and now Corvus after engaging on that, is going to have to back out. So really solid return damage with that Rylai's finished.
Yeah, the Rylai's really helps there. It prevents Corvus from going in after he dashes through the mid-wave, though I think Bob V2 could have stayed for one additional tick of ult damage to fully force Corvus out of that lane. Not a bad return play by Bob V2, though, to trade a whole bunch of damage onto Corvus.
Yeah, that was absolutely with Yasuo dashing at him, just kept calm, popped that ultimate, got a nice stun off. And Bobby too,
now
looking to go a little bit
the
more
play.
aggressive, even gets the stun onto Corvus. That's the Q, gonna finish it off. Has the damage with the Rylai's Crystal Scepter.
And the Thunderlord's proc to finish that
You
kill.
can see that Bobby 2 is very comfortable with this Kennen pick, very confident in the amount of damage he does, or just knowing his damages. I don't think Corvus was really expecting him to just be able to come in and kill him, but Bobby 2
I don't think so
knew that
either.
he had exactly enough damage to finish that kill, and doing a really good job of comboing those abilities together.
Yeah.
Didn't help that Corvus walked into the Lightning Rush. Is that what it's called?
Yeah, I believe that is Lightning Rush. The one, the ball of lightning.
Yes,
Yeah,
that's Lightning Rush.
Yes. And stun lands onto Noobs. Lycophile is pretty close by. That's actually the passive proc. It's going to get a good chunk of damage. A nice chunk onto Tempest Life as well. Corvus is roaming up here through the river. Going to get the ultimate on, but Tempest
Just
Life is
one person.
already dead. Noobs trading back 1 kill. It's a 1-for-1 so far. Potential 5, Corvus and Noble Fear. And at the back of this fight, the culling landing mostly onto the Karma, actually. So pretty low across the board. Noobs jumping onto Corvus. Another death for the Yasuo in the early game. Meanwhile, away from the camera, we did see Kennen taking down Brand as well. So that's 3 kills so far in this fight. Temp really pushing Royal Rat Authority back into their own jungle.
And I think the most crucial thing that Royal Rat Authority could have done to come out on top in that fight, Corvus burned his ultimate way too early on a target that was already dead. I think if Corvus had saved the scenario, or had saved his ultimate for that clustered up fight in the jungle, that would have worked out more in Royal Rat Authority's favor. Instead, they are going to have to take that fight with several members down. But we'll see what Team Temp can get from that. Doesn't look like they're going to get too much.
This is now a 6-1-1 phase.
Yeah, that's
Already
scary.
with the Abyssal Scepter completed, working on the Lich Bane as well.
And several stacks on that Dark Seal.
Yeah, 8 stacks in the Dark Seal. And Fizz is one of those champions where when you get ahead, you tend to stay ahead and well though.
Yeah, you do. Now, I don't know if I like Abyssal Rush on Fizz in this... we see some sort of...
Against the Brand, that
Okay.
can be pretty solid.
Especially
You don't
That's
wanna
fair.
be the early.
That's
At
fair.
this point in the game, the Magic MR Shred he's level 11. At level 12 is where it equalizes versus what it used to be before this. So I think
20 MR.
Yeah. All right.
Right. So
All
I
right.
think in this case, it actually is working pretty well for him.
Okay. I'll agree with that.
I'll buy it.
I'll buy it.
Yeah. No, I think Abyssal Rush is still solid. It's just the MR Shred isn't as much early game, but it's still like a pretty decent life choice, especially because it gives more MR than ever. And
Yeah, you have less AP.
you have less AP, but it is the highest MR item in the game. Plus,
It is not. Banshee's Veil is 70 now, I think.
Wait, really?
Or Spirit Veil. One of those two. Whichever one got its MR buffed is now 70.
I thought they got their MR nerfed.
One of
Yeah,
them
one
got
health nerfed.
one of them got health nerfed and
Oh,
MR
geez.
buffed. One of them got
Lycophile
the
wandering
opposite.
into enemy territory. Tempest Life is actually sees him coming in this mid lane. Will he be able to get over the wall in time? Noble Fearin just gets blown up. Noob's picking up the kill in the end, but Tempest Life's ultimate doing a large chunk of damage as well. However, it is now a 3v2 even with that. Braum coming in, not Dave, diving in, blocks a lot with that shield, getting the passive procs. The knockup is actually blocked by the wind wall. Pretty unfortunate there. That is an interesting looking visual bug. And they're going to have to retreat now as 4 members of Royal Rat Authority coming in.
That's
the
the ult.
ultimate onto 2. That's what he wanted. Getting them knocked up. 2 kills returned from Royal Rat Authority. Good looking ultimate from Corvus that time around.
There we go. That is the Yasuo ultimate you want. You do want to hold that ability until you do find an opportunity to use it. And Sivir coming up with the On the Hunt ultimate did help them secure those kills, and they're going to turn that straight onto Dragon.
Yep, and that is going to be a Fire Dragon secured as long as Stussy Man gets kept out of the
I think this is going to be okay.
That is the dragon secured. They're now going to be able to turn on Stussy Man. Flash burn,
He's
but they
in
still
danger.
have 4 members. He gets exhausted. Should be going down pretty soon. Does indeed. Actually managed to get 2 kills before he went down though. And Noob's coming in, gonna try and clean up the rest of the team. The
Oh.
shark lands onto potential 5. That's gonna be the kill before the troll pole even lands. And whoa, that is a turnaround from the fight in the
was-
Dragon Pit. Stussy Man keeping them in there occupied long enough to get 4 kills.
4.
Stussy Man survived for so long.
Stussy went in by himself into 4 members, picked up another kill before finally dying. Easy cleanup for the Fizz afterwards.
Yeah, now this Fizz
What
is
an insane
9-1-2 and very, very scary. That Lich Bane has been finished. The Sork Shoes just got picked up. Dark Seal at 10 stacks. This is a Fizz looking to snowball through the mid game.
Yeah. This is one really scary Fizz.
It is. He's gotten quite far ahead in this mid lane.
Yeah.
And
It still has a CS deficit, but that doesn't really matter when you farm 9 kills.
I think he's going to be okay taking that 7
think he'll be
CS
okay with
deficit.
At this point, I Am to Noobs can pretty much show up to any lane that has a relatively squishy champion, which is all of them, and just
Kill
expect
someone.
to get a kill, because I don't think there's any real defense against it.
Yeah, meanwhile, Team Temp has rotated over here to the mid lane, going to be getting down some solid chunks of damage onto that turret. I think with the red buff burn, it looks like, Tempest Life doing some extra to that turret that will finish it off. Cullen comes across, doesn't hit a whole lot of members of Royal Rat Authority.
Now, it is also worth noting that...
Lycopile jumping in, Sivir ultimate is popped. They're going to go after this kill. Tempest Life using the Graves ultimate just to get the separation. The Shark coming over, gets a kill. Noobs uses the Troll Ball to get in the middle of the team. They're focus firing him, but he's still not going down yet. The burn from Noble Fear and gonna get the kill. But by the time it does, 4 members of Royal Rat Authority have gone down. Only Noble Firen managing to back out of there. And a 4-for-1 trade yet again. It's Temp coming out way on top.
Corvus flashed into his team with that Fizz ultimate on him, bringing the
That is
giant
so
Easter
painful.
Bunny knock-up into 3 members of his team. From there, the team fight was pretty much lost. There's not much you can really do about that. Kind of a big mistake there from Corvus, and
Yeah, and that
Yeah.
is
it was
one of the
already
things
a catch, but
about Temp's team comp is that if they can get that initial CC, they have a lot of follow-up CC between
they do.
Kennen coming in with the ultimate, with the Braum knock-up. They can keep you locked down for a while. None of those are all that reliable to start off with, but if you get delivered a knock-up into the middle of your team...
yeah, well,
Absolutely.
you know, when the champion flashes in with the Shark on him, or I guess Easter Bunny in this case,
Yeah.
that is one
Oh.
reliable way to get the CC, I guess.
That was painful. I mean, it's also worth noting that the Abyssal Scepter actually made I'm to Noobs take a really, really long time to kill. They focused him forever, and between the level advantage and that Abyssal Scepter, he just took so long to take down, burning so many cooldowns and so much time on the side of Royal Rat Authority. And by the time he went down, like, the rest of the team was just able to clean up the fight as well.
Yep, that's a 5k gold lead. Relatively early on now. Oh,
It's about a 9k gold.
Oh, that
Cullen
hurts.
comes off,
That
potential
hurts.
5, taking a lot of damage. Bob V2 gonna finish off the kill. Corvus getting dived
Oh
underneath
my
the
God.
inhibitor turret even
1v3.
by Noobs. And Lycopile also gonna go down. That's 3 kills for nothing at all. Health bar still pretty much at full.
Something
On the side of
snowballing.
I Am to Noobs is so big on this Fizz that he just waddles in from behind the turret, 1v3.
Usually you want
follows
Hourglass to
and
make that play.
ease onto Yasuo and gets the kill and gets out. Yeah, usually you want Hourglass, but I guess he just needed Flash.
Yeah, interesting item choice. Actually has sold the Dark Seal to pick up the Sork Shoes and Blasting Wand. So I guess just gonna be going for the items he wants later on in the game. I think could have kept that Dark Seal a little bit longer.
I don't know what that Blasting Wand is going to build into at this stage.
Yeah, it could be a number of things.
Yeah, it could be a Death Cap.
Okay.
Also, if he's looking to
Death Cap
snowball the AP
or-
lead even more.
Another Lich Bane. Wait.
It could, technically.
Void Staff.
Alright, so I would actually, it would have been really cool to see him finish up the Zanya's Hourglass, because we do see he is taking 10% CDR. Oh no, he has blue buff, okay. So with that Hourglass and blue buff, he would be able to finish that 40% CDR. And just have a ridiculous amount of sustained damage and survivability in these fights, especially considering that they also got a Fire Dragon. Both dragons that have spawned so far have been Fire Dragons, 1 for each team, but, I mean, we see who that's benefiting more at the present time.
Yeah, notably with the new Dragon reworks, what they're really intended to do is amplify all of your existing strengths, and they already have a pretty high damage comp.
Yeah, they do.
So
They
that
really
one
do.
Fire Dragon amplifies the already high damage, and Royal Rat Authority just having a lot of trouble dealing with that in this mid game now.
Yeah.
Looks like a Baron call coming out from Temp.
Now, Royal
Yeah.
Rat Authority doesn't really have vision of this. They can smell some things up, though.
Are
Everyone's
they
missing.
actually going to get a ward in here?
Oh!
Gonna go Flash coming out quite quickly from Noble Fear, and the Easter Bunny only hitting onto Ligophile, and Noobs looking like to dive in. Not Dave actually gets pushed back into the team, has to burn a flash to get out, but that shield is blocking all of the frontline damage. Brand passive coming in, gets not Dave, so that's 1 kill down in this fight. With the Kennen ultimate going on to 2 members, getting a couple stuns down. They come onto Ligophile. That's a kill for Sussy Man, double kill now even. Noobs gonna have his cooldowns up in just a moment. Brand passive gonna get down some of their heal burn by Sussy Man to keep him alive. Even with that burn, should not be going down.
That's the game.
That's again. I think that's gonna be the game. Yeah.
4-for-2 trade. Noble Firen is getting forced out of his own base. Is getting stopped from recalling by these minions here. Is finally gonna be able to get to a bush, but Noobs knows he is in there. Has the spell shield, doesn't even get to use it. That is the ace for just 2 members. They get both Nexus turrets down. And 25 minutes into Game 1, it is looking like it is GG in favor of Team Temp. So they're going to go up 1-0.
All right, very, very cool fight. For a little bit, that actually looked like Royal Ratatouille was going to win. They got the brand damage down, they got the brand out, they got the brand passive ticking, and then Corvus landed a 2-man Yasuo in the middle of all of that. But Bob V2 steamrolls in on Kennen, ults 4 people to completely turn that fight around for Team Temp.
Such a hero Kennen play basically won the game for them.
Yeah.
All right.
Wow.
We will be back with Game 2 in just about a minute or something like that.
Yeah, well, take a couple minutes break, catch our breath, and be back with you for more action. Stay tuned.